Hey everyone, my name is Mapaseka Chabalala. In this video, I'll reflect on the teaching of my grade 4 mathematics lesson on 3D shapes. The objective of this lesson is to help learners identify and name common 3D shapes, describe their properties by counting faces, edges, and vertices, and also relate these shapes to real-life objects. The lesson included two main activities, a worksheet activity and an ICT integrated Kahoot quiz. The first activity required learners to complete a worksheet by identifying 6 different 3D shapes: a cube, cylinder, pyramid, sphere, rectangular prism, and a cone. Learners counted and wrote the number of faces, edges, and vertices for each shape. During the lesson, I first demonstrated each 3D shape using classroom models and real-life objects. Learners were encouraged to hold and observe the shapes before completing the worksheet individually. I moved around the class to provide guidance where learners experienced difficulties, especially when distinguishing between edges and vertices. This activity helped learners to achieve the lesson's objectives because they actively applied what they have learned by identifying the shapes and describing the properties. It also reinforced mathematical vocabulary and promoted observation and critical thinking. This activity is at the substitution level because the worksheet replaced traditional oral questioning activity within a written task. The technology used to prepare and print the worksheet did not change the learning task itself, and learners completed the activity using paper and pencil. The second activity was interactive Kahoot quiz displayed on the classroom screen. Learners answered multiple choice questions about 3D shapes using tablets. Questions included identifying which solid has one circular base, how many bases a cylinder has, which solid matches a shoebox, and how many faces a sphere has. The quiz provided immediate feedback after every question. Learners became highly engaged because they could see whether their answers were correct, and the game-like environment motivated them to participate actively. The quiz also allowed me to assess learners' understanding instantly and identifying misconceptions that needed further explanation. This activity supported the lesson objectives by allowing learners to recall knowledge, apply concepts, and recognize 3D shapes in everyday life. This activity is also at argumentation level because technology improved the traditional quiz by providing instant feedback, automatic scoring, and increased learners' engagement. These features enhanced learning without fundamentally changing the task. In overall, the lesson was successful because learners participated in both activities, and most learners could correctly identify the different 3D shapes and describe their properties. The use of concrete objects helped learners to understand abstract concepts, while Kahoot increased motivation and made assessment enjoyable. One challenge was that some learners initially confused faces with edges, particularly on cylinder and cones. I addressed this by demonstrating the shapes again and allowing learners to examine the physical models more closely. But if I were to teach this lesson again, I will include more real-life examples for this classroom before learners complete their worksheet. I will also provide traditional practice for learners who needed more support and encourage group discussion before the Kahoot quiz. So in conclusion, both lessons activities successfully supported the lesson objectives. The worksheet strengthened learners' understanding of the properties of 3D shapes, while the Kahoots quiz enhanced engagement and provided immediate formative assessment. The lesson demonstrated technology can be integrated effectively to improve learning while supporting CAPS curriculum.